So over the last couple of years, Mercedes-Benz has gradually grown its portfolio of electric vehicles. We have the EQA, EQB, EQC, all the way up to the EQS, which recently commenced local assembly in Malaysia. Now, the key to understanding the way Mercedes positions their electric vehicles is that when you see the EQ badge followed by some alphabet, that third alphabet represents where that model is positioned relative to its petrol siblings. So you can liken the EQE as somewhat of an electric powered E-Class, whereas the EQS is the electric powered S-Class. Now, a crucial difference between the way Mercedes structures its electric vehicle offering versus its rivals BMW. BMW has the i5 and the i7, which are basically just really the 5 Series and the 7 Series platforms adapted for electric vehicle usage. Mercedes, meanwhile, created a dedicated EV platform to underpin their EQE and their EQS models. So right now in the Malaysian market, we have the EQE 350 Plus. We also have the EQS 500, which is locally assembled. Today, they are joined by the AMG variant, and what we have here on stage is the EQE 53 as well as the EQS 53. So let's go check it out. So let's start by checking out the EQE 53. As mentioned earlier, Mercedes' strategy with their EVs is that the EQE and the EQS sits on a dedicated electric vehicle platform that is engineered ground up to be fully EV. So it does not require the platform to make a two-sided compromise that it has to cater for combustion engine as well as EV. This platform from the ground up is made for the express purpose and whatever requirements that you may have for it to function effectively as an electric vehicle. Therefore, this car, it is position-wise an electric E-Class, but it bears no resemblance, no relation, mechanical relation whatsoever with the E-Class, whether it's the outgoing generation or the incoming generation. This car has no relation whatsoever with the E-Class. But I am not quite sold on the way this car is styled, the proportion of it. It still takes some getting used to. We'll start by checking out the front. Now, this is the familiar front of the Mercedes EQ family. So you have the lights at the side here, the narrow lights that visually joins with the expanding grille with inverted commas, because this car does not have a combustion engine. You still need cooling as an EV, so therefore under here you still have opening for air to flow through to the radiator. Now, the difference between the EQE 53 versus the EQE 350 Plus that is currently available in the market is that the EQE 350 has a single motor setup, rear-wheel drive. The EQE 53 is a dual motor, all-wheel drive configuration. Wow, look at these wheels, 21-inch multi-spoke. Oh yo, I tell you, if I get the EvoClub Car Wash crew to deep clean one of these, I think the team will faint. Look at the sheer number of spokes and the thin gaps between each spoke. Wow, cleaning this will take a lot of work. So look at the front door. Now, Mercedes would seem give it a more coupe-like positioning. Why? Because it has frameless doors and the side mirrors rise from the door panel. Mercedes has a practice that began with their last generation of cars to differentiate between the coupes and the regular models. The regular models have their side mirrors emerging from the base of the A-pillar, whereas with the coupes, they rise from the door metal. The door handles too are the retractable type, but as you can see up close, keep a microfiber cloth in handy to wipe the chrome regularly. Okay, nice Mercedes-Benz wording here, pleasant to touch. They also have at the lower edge of the car this black cladding here. If you look at it, the door of this car is actually rather thick, so putting the lower black strip there actually reduces the visual height of this car. Now, one visual disadvantage of these wheels is that they end up obscuring rather, those red painted AMG calipers. Now, when you look at the profile of the EQE, you would probably expect this to have a tailgate style boot opening, but it actually does not, because it is actually in fact a regular boot that opens up here. You have a ducktail spoiler here, LED tail lights that run the entire width of the car. Now, if you look at it from the back, the EQE actually is rather bulky, and Mercedes very cleverly disguises the bulk with first this gloss black trim piece here, in which they also integrate the third brake light, and also a very thick rear diffuser, also finished in gloss black. Because imagine, without this part blackened out, the rear of this car would really look very bulky. Now, the boot has powered opening, okay, powered closing, and you have these buttons that release the split folding seats remotely. So up there's a step that, well, does not allow you to seamlessly join the boot floor, and under here you've got a hidden compartment. But size wise, this is, well, actually looks rather small, this boot, but well, the fact is you do get split folding rear seats that compensates for it. And we come here, it's frameless doors. You can see the quality. Now, this is a very nice material here at the top, very pleasant to the touch, contrasted with Alcantara. And here I like how this panel has that floating appearance, you know, popping out from the trim inserts here. And this too is very beautifully finished. This grab handle here, very beautifully finished. But oh, shocking, the hard plastic here, shocking. Right. Now the rear seats. We've got a panoramic roof up there. Seats here have isofix mounts. How do you access them? Wow. Okay, so it's snap in and snap out. Armrest down. No foldable lid here. But not even a cup holder. It's just a slot here for you to drop your phone in or your pad. Rear aircon vent with rear zone climate control, quad zone climate control actually. Now I'm 170 centimeters tall. Headroom is good above me. Very comfortable seating position, I would say. And let me just go to this side. Now, I've got very good leg room in front of me, enough for me to cross my legs. The thigh support too is good, so the seat cushion goes all the way to the back of my thighs, and it's a very snug position in here that really gives me that feeling that that I'm very well supported here at the seats. Overall, a decent environment to be in. My god, look at this. The whole dashboard is a fucking screen. Right. So in time-honored Mercedes fashion, the seat adjustment controls are at the door card, but these are not traditional switches. You get the feeling that it's mounted quite solidly on the panel. It doesn't move about, but it detects your pressure on the switch and it responds accordingly. So 3 memory positions here, door lock and unlock button here on the driver's side, but not on the passenger side. Passenger side don't have. Now, the steering wheel, this is the full-fat AMG steering wheel, large 3-pointed star here. These two are the driving mode selection controls. Here you've got pedal shifters, metal pedal shifters, and this 4 spokes here are your steering mounted controls. So this one is your interaction with the big screen there. This one is your interaction with the instrument cluster, your ADAS, and also the infotainment system. Now, as opposed to the EQE 350 that has 1 screen here, the EQS 53 gets a whole dashboard of screen, but basically it's 3 separate screens. All right, you can see this is 1 screen, this is 1 screen, and 1 more screen for the instrument cluster. These aircon vents, they look inspired by jet turbine, but the vanes here really look pretty slender. Okay, now very nice effect in pictures, but in person I can tell you one problem. This surface looks like one attracts dust, and I would believe attracts fingerprints as well. So underneath here, large storage compartment. This is all fully utilized for storage, and here as well. So it's all nicely dressed up, but in reality, this whole center tunnel here is quite cleverly maximized for storage and charging. So under there, you've got 2 USB-C ports. Here as well, this is a wireless charging tray, and all this surface also is rubberized. And check this out, press this to open up the cup holder. Nice solid filling mechanism. Press this also, so you have a soft opening mechanism loading on the lid. Another 2 USB-C ports here. So here is some shortcut buttons for the MBUX system, start stop button, and just to show you some, you have volume. Pressing the AMG logo here is for you to select the drive program. Powering up the infotainment system, this is car mode, charging options, parking camera. So this is sort of like the scrolling pad, if you like. So let's head over and check out the EQS. So we come over now to the EQS, and the silhouette here is basically very similar to that of the EQE, to which we are not surprised, because the EQS and the EQE are in fact built on pretty much the same platform. So like the EQE, you've got the frameless doors, you've got the door mounted side mirror, and you come to the front, you can see that the fascia also follow pretty much a similar look. In fact, if you look at it one glance, you may need to look hard to differentiate between the two cars. The EQS has that additional lighting bar at the top of the grille, which the EQE does not have. The EQE in turn lights up with this 2 LED signature, whereas the EQS, this lower LED is shorter. But if you examine the lights closer, I like this brush finish here at the side here. Gives the lights a bit more character, a bit more detail. But the differences between the front end of these two cars are rather small. The wheels, wow, honestly, this is a very complex, very cluttered wheel design. I tell you, this wheel, you bring to car wash, right? Confirm the workers will faint one. Look at the so many different gaps and all to clean. Wow, headache way. I imagine cleaning these wheels also, I want to faint already. Okay. So a typical EQ styling cue is that the EQS badge is stuck here at the base of the A pillar. Now I'm going to come and show you a big differentiation between the EQS and the EQE. So the EQS, well, you also have a relatively thick rear diffuser, but proportionally it occupies less height compared to the EQE. And also here in the EQS, the windscreen actually runs all the way down here, so it's a longer windscreen. And what's more, this is a proper tailgate that it gives the EQS much bigger loading capacity over the EQE, and also more convenient loading because you have a much bigger opening aperture. Powered closing, of course. And we shall step inside. So here in the EQS, there's full leather upholstery here. Now the door cards look pretty much similar. This is the same trim as that found in the EQE, but you additionally get this strip here as well, just like the EQE. This panel here has a nice floating effect, but here you get carbon fiber trim that you don't get in the EQE. Actually, I like the EQE's panel here better. This one looks quite normal to me at the moment. Now let me come over to the passenger side. Now a more comfortable place here compared to the EQE, but definitely this is no S-Class. It does not cocoon you in the same way that a traditional S-Class does. Yes, you get this soft pillow here, but I feel no difference sitting at the back here compared to that of an E-Class. Whereas in a regular S-Class, the petrol-powered version, sitting at the back of an S-Class, you feel the difference with an E-Class. But here in the EQS, sitting at the back, besides getting the soft cushion and more leg room here, doesn't feel significantly different over the EQE. So once again, you've got this pop-out tablet holder here. The rear aircon vents look nicer than the EQE. You get rear zone climate control, but yeah, quite unlike the S-Class, the EQS at the back here does not feel as special. So let's check out the front. Well, in all honesty, looks barely any different from the EQE I checked out earlier. In fact, it looks almost, as far as I can tell, exactly the same. It looks exactly the same, just maybe slightly different materials here. Okay, but well, you got a door lock and unlock button for the passenger side, but that's it. Otherwise, this is exactly the same cabin that we saw in that car earlier. Everything's the same. Steering's the same. One big screen across. Same compartments here and down here. Slightly different door card design. But that's it. So the EQS 53 goes for nearly 800,000 ringgit on the road before insurance. The EQE 53 is available for 150,000 ringgit cheaper. Now, what differentiates between them? At a first glance, actually not much, especially when you sit inside the cabin. They look and feel almost exactly the same. It's just that the EQS, you get different seat materials, but otherwise there is not the same kind of differentiation that separates an E-Class versus an S-Class compared to the EQE versus the EQS. So if I were to sum up the difference between the EQE and the EQS, the EQS gets like a proper tailgate. You get a slightly bigger battery that translates to more driving range, but otherwise the two cars, in my opinion, they look and feel almost exactly the same. So that's it for today from the launch of the Mercedes-AMG EQE 53 and EQS 53. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and if you have any thoughts of these two cars, do share your thoughts in the comment section below. Or if you're the present owner of the EQE or EQS in Malaysia, do share your ownership experience of these cars also in the comment section. And do subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. Hit the notification bell so that you know the next time I release a new video. Do check out the channels of all my other Horizon team members as well. And remember, every Monday, Bobby, Tana, Thomas and myself are live on Facebook and YouTube to answer your car buying questions. And finally, if you have any needs for car detailing services, do contact the EvoClub Car Wash team to find out our latest offers and promos, or if you just need advice on what to do with your car. So until my next video, take care, stay safe, I'll see you soon.